Mic check and screen share check, please. Okay. All right, good evening, guys. Ken at Tortoise Capital Nightly Strategy Podcast for August 15th, 2022, Monday. Let's jump right into it. So today was a nice, leisurely, grinding, positive day with nothing negative to say about it. That's a good thing. We were curious to see how the market would respond to a rising tide. Well, we know Michael Burry got completely out of his position 5 weeks ago and has missed one of the great 30-day moves of all time. But, when you get that large of a position, you got to make your bed and lie on it. So here's the PSAR continuing to march its way north. Here was our moderate to small range day that started low and finished high, pushing to a new 30-day high, 5-day high, 10-day high. That's all good. It's sitting right on the border of Z2. The short-term momentum is strong. The dragon is strong and almost completely out of the river. It's just marking, the dragon is riding right along the edge of the river. That's a good thing. The river is strong. The 90 is strong. The RL270 is starting to curl and make its way up. The 10 and the 30 are both doing well. The baby dragon is riding along right side of mama. So this is as strong as you could want. From the time where it turned from spring to summer, which happened right here 20 days ago, it's gone from 384 to 429, 16 and 29. That's $45. So that's about 12% from here to there. So that all feels pretty good. Here's the 30-day. So this was, these are not 30-day, 30-minute, I should say, 30-minute on the S&P. And so this was the close on Friday, right here at the top, and everything was looking good, right? So just want to follow up. So what it did today was open on the 30-minute bar. It opened at the bottom of the dragon. There's your PSAR. And all it did was close in that first 30 minutes was it gathered every loose piece of inventory for people that were trying to lock in these gains and had their stops at various levels. All this did was pick up all that inventory and in that buying pressure, take it right back to the start point 30 minutes in. And here, is the peak of the RL10. So anything over that, and essentially anything over Friday's high, is an automatic entry. And you could even use the bottom of the dragon as a risk box, couldn't you? Yes, you could. Why? Because that's about the same size as the 30-minute PSAR box. That's standard risk. So you could be long at 30 minutes. That would be a quick frog. Now, you might have waited until you saw cross the baby dragon, recross the baby dragon. It gives you a breakout here. That's an emerging dragon. And then if you waited for that one, you might have played to the bottom of the dragon or a 1-bar low and had a slightly better position size because you're only taking that much risk instead of this much risk. So you get almost twice the position size for waiting 20 minutes, and you still get about the same entry. But now because it did not fail further, you're justified in having a smaller risk box. And then that one takes off nicely and finishes strongly. And so for a solid R, that's what an intraday turbo looks like using 30 minutes and studying the top of the look back period. That was a 5-day, 10-day, and 30-day high. And it's a long distance to resistance. All right, let's take a look at the sectors. S&P today, 0.41. The Dow was slightly better at 0.46. The Qs were the best at 0.8. Here's the zero line right here. The Russell lagged a little bit at 0.35. Treasuries were almost flat, minus 0.09, and emerging markets slightly weak at 0.46. So not much range, not much spread. That's a 1.2% spread between the high and the low. Not much to choose from there. Let's take a look at the underperformers compared to the S&P. All right, so the S&P once again 0.41. Global Future of Finance 0.4. ARC Innovation, Blockchain, Brazil, Finance, and Materials 0.35 to 0.06. Marijuana minus 0.41. And you have a cluster here of, these are all sectors. Wheat and precious metals, Mexico, agriculture, clean energy, the two lumbers, Bitcoin, Aussie dollar, and blended commodities between 0.47 and 1.2. Then some significant losses in here. Energy off again, 2%. Commercial real estate, 2.25. VIX, 2.5. Oil exploration and oil, 2.8. Ethereum, 3.6. Now individual targets, Rivian off 4%. Energy and U.S. Steel off 3 and 3 1/3. Cliff and Alcoa in the metals, 2.25. Squarespace, 1.4. So a wide range of kind of the industrials and the cryptos. Things that worked. So we have the S&P here at 0.41. Real estate, 0.5. The FANGs tech, 0.6. Consumer discretionary, 0.7. Staples, 1%. ARC Genomics, 1.15. Lithium, 1.2. Biotech, 1.2. Blended large cap crypto, 3.3. And then the individual targets. Tesla, big winner today, 3%, closing at 928. still with a $5 risk box. Coinbase 1.6, Robinhood 0.7, Apple 0.6, Microsoft 0.5. So all better than the market with our tech bellwethers. So pretty much the disruptors and technology today. Tech of all types, whether it's Tesla, the Qs, Microsoft and Apple, or the biotechs. Was all the futures, the future leaders. That's least surprising when you have a small range day and grinding upward movement with Friday's leaders and the trending leaders continuing to lead the way. That's just sort of business as usual. All right, let's check the daily. Sniper trade of the day today was in Brazil. So here was the close. Here was the great big gap. Finds support pretty quickly. It does not fail any further, starts to reverse, could have, might have tried a risk box off the low and tried an entry here. I elected to wait for the PSAR. That rolled over. I took the hit. This would have paid off, but I don't mind taking that one because I looked at this as being a confirmation of a move. There were still two of those to get back to the open or to yesterday's close. So I would do that again. This one gave us a low, a higher low. That makes this a COTA 2. If you wait for this to break out, that would be an emerging dragon. I was ready to just take it right here. Standard risk. Here's a COTA 2. I was so close to the resistance level that I did not put a second position on. Just let it run. Played the PSAR exit. That's a stop and reverse. There's the risk box. This is the standard risk box. This is the PSAR box. That was a scratch. There was a re-entry here and here and here, but I was hypnotized by that move. So I was waiting for the recovery. The whole market was grinding up, so I played this one and took about a plus 0.5. That one's a scratch. That's minus 0.5. And this one is about plus 2. So Brazil was about plus 2 for the day. Checker hole. Oh, we've already seen the market health check. And let's look at dashboard 1. Sideways quiet is a green status. That's a good sign, by the way. This on average tomorrow is up when it closes in sideways quiet. That's actually a good market condition. Any bull plus sideways quiet, those are all positives. The short term is strong. Now the 90 period is pretty strong. It's at 75. That's almost overbought. And the long term is really starting to recover nicely. We're still in risk on. It's quietly getting ready to push up to Z2. That's actually a good thing for the long side. Standard warnings for dead cat bounces in the S&P and tech. We are mindful of that. We're respecting our stops. Min pains, Cisco, McDonald's, Walgreens, Travelers, and Procter. Alcoa, Pfizer, and then the two energies are both lagging. I would add Johnson & Johnson Treasuries. Oil exploration, the usual suspects are the weak areas. Dow Tactical, lots of dojis today and some dead cat bounce warnings. Only Johnson & Johnson fires on the auto framer. It's 5-1. And lots of breakout boxes today. That's all a sign of a healing market. So Disney was very good, up 2.5%, 18% for the 10 days and 30% for the 1 month. Wow. Tesla, very good. Visa, very good. Apple had a nice breakout today, all time frames. So notice who the leaders are. Those leaders are the ones making new highs soonest. In the ETFs, tons of breakouts again. I'll leave that to you to read. Only treasuries are on a auto framer, just a handful of dojis. Biggest winner today, 135. Consumer staples had a nice big move today relative to its performance. Only Johnson & Johnson and treasuries on the auto framer. And there's some goodies in this one on the daily squeezes. I like it that Microsoft had a good today, but is still squeezed. Along with, at some point, Johnson & Johnson is going to be a great value play. There's your tech sector, Cliff Natural Resources, all that looks good. Looking at the snipers, no Godzillas on the basis of the real strong performance we've had the last 30 days. But we are in the fireworks and popcorn territory. All of these ready to pop. The tightest compression on the 5 days going to be like PGR and K, and yeah, those all look interesting. Pepsi. Among the most quiet still, nothing had any kind of breakout today. Closest thing would be BMY. And then in the most volatile, CAH and Disney are very interesting because they're green on both, as is Gilead Sciences in biotech. Biotech was pretty strong, so that's one worth studying. Sniper auto framer and the sniper stats for the tactical symbols. You can see we're in the 4 seasons, we're still being dominated by summer. And even the ones in the fall are mostly well above their red river. So that's a very healthy market right there. Only a few things suffering in the winter: Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, and Intel. So those two are the anomalies that that has bad company news written all over it. So when is that going to become a value play? That's the one to start looking for. The multiple NDXs, you can see where the real strength is. Apple is just crushing it on every time frame it's in the green. And Tesla's not bad. It's overcome a lot of sag and slack, and it's almost healthy now. McDonald's very strong too. Home Depot's not bad. Still has room to run. You got to like utilities, I suppose, and industrials. That strength there on the longer term is looking good. The defensive plays in energy got smacked today pretty hard. I like these two right here, diamonds and tech. That feels like the safe plays in the large caps, right? Don't be surprised if they keep grinding up. In the creativity 202 workshop this weekend, we recorded a session on a way to use a combination of 3-minute bar or 3-minute bars and 30-minute bars using their respective PSARs to help guide some decisions intraday about when to just hold your nose and buy it, using the 30-minute PSAR as the sort of a guide to the higher timeframes, their intentions. A pretty good insight. We called it the fractal PSAR. Just more good payoffs from the creativity course. We're about a quarter of the way through on that now. We just completed lesson 8 of 30. And the experiential learning exercise this week was on the practical approach to sniper trading and visual box trading. And it was, they said it was transformative, the ones that did the work. So that's everything I want to talk about from the daily. Let's take a look at some sniper trades. This one's Tesla. $5 risk box. Excuse me. So these first couple, I forgot to mark these up. I'm sorry. Yeah, these first two. This first one was long here that and took the loss. Took this one, which paid off. And I think that's all I did with, actually, I tried this one too. I'm sorry. The first two were quick losses, but the third one paid off really well. I considered a second position there, but elected not to. Yeah. U.S. Steel. So this one was that 3-minute opening range. That didn't move at all until it finally broke out down here. But by this time, I had seen that and I was content with a COTA 2 entry right here to front run that a little bit. So by the time it actually breaks out, instead of chasing that and maybe getting filled down here, I can already move my stop to no lose plus dinner for 2. Which is where I want to be, because you can see this is already a 1, 2, 3 reversal pattern. So I like to be in the money already on this trade. So standard exit, stop and reverse. Grinding for a fractional win. That was such a weak move that I got short. Standard exit. Take a pause. COTA 2. Micro gain. And then just not much else. There just wasn't a lot of room in U.S. Steel today. All of that move was in this gap down, and then it stayed in a nice tight range box. Now, when I see that, and I see that it actually made a higher low later in the day and closed pretty well, I actually consider that to be bullish for tomorrow. Tomorrow. Like anything north of that price, I'm going to be ready to watch it close the gap up to here. Yeah. So anything north of 2460, and I'll be very bullish. This is Brazil. So this was all of the price action from Friday. And here was that big gap down. Oh, this was the sniper trade of the day, which you already saw. Quick loss. Caught a 2 re-entry to get paid. Notice once again why we pay attention to support and resistance. It stops right where it stopped before. That's the least surprising exit of all. So that's a standard 2. And then picking up one little fraction at the end. Last one, lithium. So this one, it closed well. Took off, standard risk. That little spike down just so that I didn't lose money on it. Caught a 2 at the PSAR flip. Paid off very well. So that's 1 unit of risk. 1, 2, 3. And then a caught a 2. Standard risk box. The PSAR is your friend. Quick scratch. And leave it. So about 3 for the day. So some quiet grinding moves today. Let's take a look at the traders. Yeah, just 2 to work with today. This is Arch. I like this one. That we might have gotten short right here, which is about the same entry. This one, he basically let it fail, come back up, and then start failing again. So he gets that right here, which is fine. And then picks the double-sized box, then takes a quick exit for a minus 0.2. I like that. I like that long. That's a good exit. That's a good short. Just unlucky. So you're kind of stuck in the chop. This is a great continuation. Good exit, 1.3. Good job staying out of the chop and got what was there. I like that one. I like the stop and reverse. It just was a little unlucky in a continuation. Still feels like you got that well. A little unlucky, flat for the day. I think, if anything, maybe the third trade in here, the one that cost 0.9, may have been a little problematic, only because you're short here, and let that go 1, 2, 3, 4 all the way back for 0.9. That's a choice. This one was unfortunate, given back so much. I mean, if we get this one, it sells off and starts coming up, and just take it here, that probably makes you positive for the day. But pretty good shape right there. It was still kind of a range bound day today. Here's a quick look at Luke on the 5s. There's his Z3 pinch. He's out of the market until here. Under normal conditions, we would expect like a Z3 breakout to be short from here and then get paid somewhere probably around there at the edge of the dragon. He notices this rollover at the Bollinger Band main, gets the PSAR flip, considered a second position, I think, didn't take it, and just took the one standard exit at 1.6. This is a terrific re-entry. Good second position on the collapsing dragon. If he was going to, I think he didn't take. Luke, did you not? You did not take those, correct? The empty was, I considered. Yeah, so that's your signal for considered it, elected not to. Yeah, those are all the right places, but still, that's a 6R trade on the first position. So if that's 6, then this one was probably 4 and 3 and 2. There may have been, if we're being honest, another 9 in there, in which case you probably would have exited here instead of there. And yeah, and that's all the trades from today. So I did want to talk for just a minute. We have a few extra minutes here today. I wanted to talk about our true story circles. This was a sketch from a session we did this morning. And so what I want to say on this was to describe the phenomenology of being in that circle. Meaning phenomenology means, what does it feel like to be inside that? And here's what that's like and what I think is happening. There's a real transformative power for these things. What happens is you constitute this true story circle, and this green circle represents that safe, trusted, truthful circle. And then individuals come in having emptied their bowl into a true story that they're prepared to tell. And then each person in turn is offering their story to the group. And everybody in the group is engaged in deep listening, by which I mean no commentary, no judgment, no processing, no active listening. It is completely emptying your bowl and just sitting in the truth. When that happens, when everybody commits to that agreement, you end up getting an extra presence in that room, which I take to be the universal ear, which is listening for truth, comes in and is listening to that completed circuit. When everybody's engaged in true storytelling and true story listening, it completes that circuit like electricity, and then the group mind, if you will, is formed. And that actually is the ear of the universe, also bearing witness to what's going on inside that circle. And so all of those stories are resonating on this giant ear, through this ear canal. It's carrying the signal out to the universe, to the farthest reaches. And then because you emptied your bowl in the telling of your story, you become very receptive for the universe to come back and give you feedback about whatever your intention was. The universe hears the truth of that and replies with something that you need. And it fills up your bowl, and it gives you something to leave the circle to work on. So your gift of truth to the world is reciprocated in kind, first by the shared stories of everybody in that circle, and then the reflection back from the universe that comes to everybody in proportion and beyond to the gift that they offered. So there is a very powerful local circuit that is set up inside that circle, but also the universe, in my opinion, is paying attention and is expediting that movement of truth out to the far reaches where it resonates and comes back and fills you up. So that's what it feels like to be inside that circle, exchanging true stories. And when we go back and listen to the audios, the recordings of those things, the numbers of insights that we're generating from that are just astonishing. Transformative was the word that was used. Surprising by the people in the circle. So that's a pretty good course. And it comes with the sniper course anyway, by week 8. So in fact, the experiential learning exercise was visual box trading, and it kind of snuck up on people. They didn't realize what was going on. We had them turn off all of their indicators and only trade the price bars, and then follow some procedures, and then slowly experiment with adding one indicator back at a time to see what new information it gave you above and beyond the naked price bars. And it gave a real strong connection to see price through that single lens of a particular indicator. And it really helped unpack the inside of our trader's mind and our visual cortex. So that's what I wanted to say. All right, that's everything I got for the team. We'll get this published and posted, and we shall see you soon. Yeah, that somebody asked me, that creativity course is available as a home study course, whether you're in a cohort or not. But if you've got, in my opinion, 3 or 4 people that start together as a cohort would really benefit from that. And so I'd be willing to knock $1,000 off the course just to get you in there and working together and get the goodness sooner rather than later. So keep that in mind. All right, that's everything I got for you. Take good care.